Hey, what's up, everybody? It's October 8th, 2019, which means we are ready for this week's TNT Tuesday. So, hey, if you didn't have a chance to check out last week's episode, go ahead and go back and take a look at it. Last week, we're going out there and taking a look at red vine licorice and how to actually go out there and create that. Great alternative if you're looking at Inventor Fridays, just getting kids. Getting them hands-on with the software, learning new skills, learning new features is just a great way of going out there and doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the candy theme. I think it's most appropriate, especially if we're right here in the middle of October, coming up on trick-or-treat time. So let's just go ahead. Let's just continue on with this. Another really good model to go out there and use is the Lifesaver. Lifesaver, kids are going to have to go out there and start investigating the profile, thinking about revolving. How are we going to get that text on there? How are we going to get that text to look right? So Lifesaver is a really, really great model to use. I think the most difficult thing for you to try to figure out is how to get these Lifesavers broken in half so your kids can actually go out there and take a look at it, pull out the dial calipers, get the measurements, and obviously go out there and get those sketched into their engineering notebook, just so they can go, sort of go forward with it. There's a lot of information that they're going to need. There's going to be a lot of trial and error, especially when it comes to geometry text, and you're going to take a look at that today. And then thinking about a couple of the features of how to get that rounded sort of text to go with it. I'm not going to lie to you, the Lifesaver text that you're going to be seeing on top of the one we're doing today is going to look a little bit different than what you're seeing right here, but I think it's still going to count towards something. It's a lot of fun. And in the end, the kids get some sweet treats, so that's the whole point. So anyway, let's go ahead, let's take a look at this. All right, so you can see here, this is the information I came up with for my Lifesaver. Okay, when kids are going out there and taking a look at the profile, they're going to want to think that that is actually a circle that's in the middle to give us that sort of shape that we're looking for. No, it is actually an ellipse. We're going to be using 2-point center, and then the other thing is they're going to have to go out there and start thinking about how to create a profile that's going to give them the whole sort of built right into it. There's a lot of information that you're going to have to go out there and sort of tinker with and play around with, or you can just use my information regarding the text. I can show you how to do that as well. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So in this case, normally we start right there at the origin. We're going to come here and we're going to use a 2-point center rectangle. And we're going to be making sure that that is horizontally aligned to the origin itself. And I'm going to come out here and just plug in some dimensions. So the overall width of our Lifesaver we can see is a distance of 0.309. We're going to go ahead and plug that in. We can see that the overall width of this is going to be the overall height of this is going to have a distance of 0.151. Okay, so we have that taken care of. Now I can come up here and go to ellipse. We're going to start here right at the center. Okay, I'm going to come out here and just create my ellipse. So a lot of people have questions on how to dimension an ellipse. It's very simple. Go to dimension, pick on ellipse. Okay, so the dimension is showing us is going to be half of the major axis. So you're going to have to know information with that, which is in my case 0.142. That's what I measured. I pick on the ellipse again. I pull it over to the side. We can see that this is going to be half the minor axis, which in this case is 0.103. Okay, so we have the profile that we're sort of looking for. So now it's a good chance for me to come out here and let's just go ahead. Let's just plug in the information I know. That's going to be half the diameter of the hole. So in this case, we can see this is 0.148. Okay, and now I can go ahead and start trimming this up. So trimming out everything I need to sort of get the profile I'm looking for. And it would look something like this. Okay, a couple of the pieces we can clean those out, but anyway, there we go. So that's sort of the profile we're looking for. If you look close enough at a Lifesaver, you can actually see on these corners there's sort of a round or a chamfer or fillet. I'm just going to keep things very, very simple. Let's just go ahead and finish that sketch. Now I'm going to come out here, I'm going to turn on an axis that's going up. So in my case, it's going to be the y-axis, so I can go ahead and turn that on. And I can come out here, go to revolve. My profile has been selected. I use my red arrow for my axis, define what that is, and go ahead and say OK. All right, so we can see we have the overall shape of it, but okay, we do have that text that's coming off of that rounded surface. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to come out here and I'm just going to start a 2D sketch. I'm going to go ahead and pick on this flat edge. I'm just going to pull this up. I'm going to keep this somewhat simple, maybe like 0.02. I just want to make sure it's above that rounded surface. So I'm going to use view cube here and take a look at it. It's not quite above it, so I'm going to go ahead and just double that, bring it up to 0.04. Okay, we can see it's right above that surface. So now I'm going to go ahead and green check that and go with it. I can now come out here and project, well, we had the origin there, so we don't have to do that. Let's go ahead, let's draw a circle. Okay, and I look in my dimensions, okay, and I was seeing that center line for that text is a radius of 0.310, so that means that this is going to be 0.62, okay, for my diameter. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that 0.62 in. Okay, so that is basically the center line that we're going to be following for our text. Okay, but the thing is, it's not going to go all the way around. It's not going to work right. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a vertical line here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line off of this, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and dimension that, where that is going to be 22 degrees, just like so. I like where that position is, so I'm going to go ahead and mirror that geometry according to this line, like so. And now I can come out here and trim this out. I no longer need that dimension, I no longer need this line, and I no longer need this line. So basically this is the arc that my text is going to be following. All right, so if I look up here underneath text, we should be able to find geometry text. I'm going to go ahead and just pick on that line. Okay, now my start angle is going to be, I think it's 68 degrees. That's correct. The offset distance in this case is going to be negative 0.05. We have that. I'm going to use Tahoma and a size of 0.12. Okay, so Lifesaver all in caps, like so. I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and Lifesaver goes right on top of that. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just finish that sketch. Okay, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and do an extrusion of that text. I'm going to send it in the opposite direction, and I'm just going to take that to next, where it goes out there and just hits the top, okay, of that guy. All right, so we have that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here. I'm going to turn on this work plane because I want to start a sketch on that work plane. Okay, and this is what I am seeing. So I want that to be rounded. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and right click, and I'm going to slice graphics. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is go ahead and project geometry on this. See if we can get some information. Unfortunately, project geometry is not going to do what we want it to do in order to do an offset. So we have to kind of do this manually. I'm going to go ahead and just project this through so we can then come out here and draw a line like so. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a point right here at the midpoint, and I'm going to go ahead and lock down that point in that position and get rid of that. I'm now going to come out here and just redraw that ellipse like we did earlier. So I'm going to bring it over to here and bring it up, go to dimension, and I'm going to go out here and establish what half of my major axis is, which is 0.142, like so. And I'm going to come over here and just dimension this over. This is going to be half my minor axis, which is 0.103, so it's going to match it. And now what I'm going to do is just simply come in here and offset this up. So I just want this to come up just a little bit. Okay, so you can see I'm not going over the top of it, I'm actually underneath it. Okay, I'm doing this because I'm going to come out here and revolve this as a cut, and it's going to round over the top of that. So what I'm going to do is come out here to 2 points in a rectangle. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to be making sure I'm staying on the outside of the text and I'm way above it. And now what I can do is come out here and trim this up. So just like so. Okay, I'm trimming this up. Did I get it? I think the profile is still going to work. So let's go ahead, let's finish the sketch. Let's go to revolve. That is a profile I'm looking for. The red arrow is my axis. I come back into here. We can see that as a join, but when we flip this over to a cut, we say okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of some work planes here. And you're going to be able to see what we have done. All right, so take a look at that. We have Lifesaver that is rounded over at the top. That's the text that is raised. Okay, and then we actually have the Lifesaver itself. So a whole lot of features in there. I know that's really, really crazy, but it has kids thinking about what the profile is going to be. Okay, building that hole directly into the profile, going out there, extruding text, creating a special revolve cut tool to go out there and round that over the top. There's a lot of great stuff. And then obviously at this point, kids can go out there, start adding any sort of color that they want to it. All right, making that any sort of flavor that they want. So there you go. That is it for this week's TNT Tuesday. Have a great week.